What's going on, everybody? Long time no see. Been a while since I've been live over here. I am just going live just to see what's out there. I don't really have anything to talk about that much. Was not a plan live. I was sitting here just sitting around and like, let me go live and see what I can catch. So that's basically why I'm here. Um, well, I guess there is one thing I can talk about. I listened to a channel this morning, and MBK was on that channel. Well, actually, it was a replay, and something he said caught my ear. Was to me was very disturbing, but it shows you the mentality of Black people. And what I'm talking about is he made a comment about him being, good at crypto and how he is in the Twitter spaces working with white people, making them millions of dollars with his knowledge of crypto. And I thought that was very fascinating that he said that, because then I'm like, hold on. You're over there on Twitter making so-called millions of dollars for white people, but you're over here on YouTube in this so-called Black and beef sector, which pretty much is the gutter, keeping up BS. And I'm like, let that sink in for a second. You're making money for white people, but you're over here with Black people saying, well, I ain't gonna say saying, but participating in garbage. But that shows you the mentality of a lot of these Black people in these spaces. They rather see you down and out, fighting amongst yourselves in this garbage while helping other people, other races, make money. That's crazy to me. That's really insane to me. That's so insane that we have that type of mentality in this community. And we wonder why Black people tend to fail a lot. Because we love to see Black people fail. That's the reason why Black people fail so much. I'm like, why don't this brother take this knowledge that he has and try to introduce it more over here? Or better yet, why don't you take that knowledge and use it on your own platform and invite Black people to your platform on YouTube to help them create money and wealth? What's up, Classic Light? But I just never could figure that out. I'm like, why would a person even say that out loud in this space? But then again, how many people actually noticed what he said other than myself? Because that was a long live that he participated in. And it just so happened that I was over there watching the replay looking for something else, and he popped up and said what he said. But it's just something to think about. It really is. Why would you be over there on Twitter making millions of dollars for another race, but you're over here on YouTube playing in the gutter, watching Black people destroy themselves every day with the doxing, with the calling of the police, the calling of defects, calling people jobs, getting them fired? This is what you're participating in. But when you close down your YouTube and open up your Twitter feed, you're over there helping someone make millions of dollars that are not black. That's crazy. That is really, really crazy to me. But that's the mentality we have. Now we can talk about Umar Johnson also, how he runs around, you know, putting up videos about the 4th of July and how the 4th of July is not meant for black people and all this and all that. But at the same time, what is he doing for black people? Nothing but taking their money and pretending like he cares. That's the only thing he's doing. People in this community, the black community, need to wake up and understand. Black people are feeding you full of BS. That's what they're feeding you. They're telling you one thing, but doing the opposite. And they don't even care about you. That's what's wrong with the black community. We don't care about one another. We really don't. Just look around. Look what you see. We have no interest in building amongst ourselves. The only thing we want to do is take. We don't want to give. We don't want to build. You know, I was listening to Umar, and Umar was talking about the 50s. He was talking about how black people had so much in the 50s. Well, you know why black people don't have anything now? Because once they sell it, they buy it. Once they get it, they sell it. I can go back to my old neighborhood when I was growing up, and there was black businesses all around me. Talking about, we had a section where I grew up. It was a whole block of nothing but black-owned businesses. Today, when I go back today, you know who own those same businesses or that same property area? Foreigners. And they didn't come and take it. We sold it to them. Because the only thing we care about, we don't think about, damn, I just lost my train of thought. We don't think about generation wealth. We think about the now. We want our money now. We don't think about down the road. But then we get down the road, then we start complaining about everybody buying up our businesses after we sold it to them. Do that make sense? You sell people things, then you complain about it later on. Doesn't make sense, right? Then we talk about generation wealth. How can you have generation wealth when you're selling everything? See, we need to really sit back and think about what we say before we say it. Because we don't think. We really don't. See, we are reactionary type people. We react to things. We're not proactive. We don't think about the future. We only think about the now. And then when something happens in the future, we react to it, which is crazy. We need to start looking at ourselves in the mirror and taking accountability for what we are doing wrong. Stop following these race hustlers. That's the first thing we need to stop doing. Stop following people who only want your money. But we are so mesmerized by words. You know, somebody come along, they send all these fancy words and they just mesmerize you, you know. They just say all these great things that you want to hear, you know. They giving you hope, they're building you up, you know, they motivating you. But at the same time, you're so blinded by the words that you notice That's the only thing they're doing is talking. There is no action behind those words. You know, I love when people tell me Umar Johnson is just this great leader for the Black community. He's doing so much for the Black community. Then I ask myself, what is he doing for the Black community? What impact has someone like Umar Johnson made on the Black community? Better yet, what impact have someone like Tariq Nasheed made on the Black community? See, these are the things we should be asking ourselves before we give our money to these people. Where's the impact? Where's the impact? What are they doing actually to help you? But we don't ask ourselves those questions. We just hand the money over. Matter of fact, I was on the Umar's I think it was in one of his videos he did for the 4th of July. I left a comment, and the comment, no, that wasn't that video. It was a video of him talking about women, Black women. He was talking about Black women and some of the issues that was going on with the Black women and blah blah this, blah blah. More of his nonsense. And I left a comment under that video, and someone came back and said that we shouldn't be worried about women and men, Black women and Black men. I'm trying to get it right, so I'm trying to formulate the words to get it right. We shouldn't be worried about Black women and Black men. We should be worried about XYZ. And then what stood out in the comment was he asked me, have I donated to the school? And I'm like, and I replied back to him like, why would I donate to a school to that cause when it's been going on forever and there's no sign of a completion to it? So why would I donate? But see, you got people who are so blinded to the point where they don't see reality. They don't see what's really going on around them. They don't understand that it don't take 5 years to remodel a building that's already there. It doesn't take 5 years to put in place a business plan for that school. There are so many red flags when it comes to that school that no one should be donating to it right now. And anybody who's donating to it are just blind. Just straight up blind to the fact that there is no business plan. There is no set schedules. Someone is telling you they're going to open it up on this date, then they move that date, then they bring up another date, then they bring up another date, then they bring up another date. Who would want to invest in that? Who would want to donate to that? No one. Why would you allow yourself to be scammed out your money knowing that there is no completion date to this? Here it is, 2024, 5+ years after he purchased that school, and they're still painting on the inside. They're still doing things to fix it up on the inside 5+ years later. And y'all got people who want to donate to that. Black people need to wake up. See, this is what I'm saying. The Black mentality is crazy. It's really crazy. You just can't figure it out. You got Tariq Nasheed who keep preaching this reparation thing. But at the same time, they're telling people not to vote. We're not going to vote until we get reparations. Well, how are you going to get reparations if you don't vote for the people who want to give you reparations? You got to take a chance. But that shows you it's a phony movement. There's so much scamming going on in the Black community right now. It's crazy, and it seems like no one seems to care about it. You got Umar in his school. That's a scam. You got Tariq and his movement was reparation. Only people getting paid are Tariq. They the only one getting paid off this. They're having all these rallies. Why are you having rallies when you're not sitting down with the people who's able to give you what you want? If you're not talking to those people, it's a moot point. It doesn't make sense. We need to wake up and understand these people do not care about you. They care about their fame and their fortunes. That's it. Their lifestyle. They're flying around the country. They're going into Jamaica. They're going into Africa. They're going in different spots around the world off of your dime. And y'all don't even care. Don't even care. Just keep giving it. What are you getting in return for your money? What's up, Super? What are you getting in return for your money? Just think about that. These people have been preaching reparations for the last 6 years solid. So I'm talking about solid. It's been everywhere. And how much gain have they made on that movement? Zero. You know why? Because they're not talking to the right people. They're just sitting on YouTube, sitting on IG, sitting on Twitter, preaching reparations. Just like Umar for the last, they said, some people said 19 years, some people said 14 years. Sitting on social media, preaching, open the school, we're going to open the school, we're going to open the school, we're going to help these black boys out, we're going to help these black boys out. Nothing. That's crazy. No one is asking the right questions. No one is saying, something ain't right here. You're flying around the world and you still haven't opened this school up. Or they not asking Tariq, you've been fighting this reparation battle for years now. When are we going to have some progress on it? When are you going to start sitting down with the people who can make this happen instead of talking against them? No one's thinking. No one is thinking. It's crazy. But we are so easily manipulated. We are. For some reason, we are looking for a savior. Why are we looking for a savior? Why? Why can't you save yourself? Why can't you get out and get a job, save your money, and save your own self? Why must you give your money to someone else who ain't doing nothing for you? Why? Put your money in your bank account. Let it grow. You'll get more to return off of that than you will with someone like Umar, someone like Tariq, someone like all these race hustlers out here. You'll get more of your return back from your money if you put it in the bank. Because the only thing you're doing when you're giving it to these race hustlers is funding their lifestyle. That's all you're doing. What's up, Doug? What's going on? That's all you're doing. But how did I get to this subject? I went from MBK to Umar to Tariq. Well, I got here because, like I said, MBK threw me off this morning. And it made me really think about the mentality of Black people. Why we do this to ourselves. We let these people into our spaces just to insult us. That's what we do. MBK sit up there on that platform and said straight up, I'm on Twitter making millions of dollars for white people, while at the same time he's over here on YouTube in this so-called beef and black sector creating havoc. Do that make sense? Do that really make sense? I don't understand why we do that to each other. I would be embarrassed to sit here and say, I'm over here making money with these white people on Twitter, but I'm over here on YouTube in this black and beef sector causing havoc, getting people fired from their jobs. Not you, MBK. I'm just saying in general. Getting people fired from their jobs, calling DCF on mothers and fathers. I'm over here just living in the ghetto, not trying to improve my own community. That's crazy. That is crazy. I would love to have a conversation with MBK after that comment, a serious conversation with him, because I want to know where his mind's at. I really would like to know where his mind's at. Where his mind's at. Why is he over here in this space where there is nothing but negativity? Why not be somewhere with Black people and help them grow financially, just like he's doing on Twitter? But like I said, I'm one of the few Black people who actually caught what he said and actually felt concerned about what he said. Because I guarantee you no one is talking about this with me. No one is talking about this with me. Everybody else over here in this sector, in this beef and Black, they're talking about nonsense. They're talking about gutter trash crap. Instead of trying to focus on something they can build off of and try to hold people accountable for coming over here and contributing to the garbage when they have skills to help Black people improve their lives. But that's one thing I have noticed over here. You see a lot of Black people over here who claim to be doctors, just claim to be professionals, straight up professionals. But for some reason, they're over here playing in the gutter. Why do so-called professional individuals, highly educated individuals, want to play in the gutter? That's just like saying you got a professional doctor who making millions of dollars, very successful doctor living in the ghetto. Would you ever see that? You'll never see a professional, somebody very, very successful living in the ghetto, living in housing authority department. You're not going to see that. But that's what you get over here in the Black and the beef sector. You got a lot of so-called educated professionals who are so-called successful living in the ghetto. Living in the ghetto. They're not trying to build anything positive. They're only trying to tear things down. They're only trying to tear it down. I see so many people that I'm like, why are you here? If you're a professional, why are you here? If you're a lawyer, why are you here? If you're a nurse, why are you here? Why? Yeah, Doug, that's my whole thing. But these people, they brag about their education, they brag about their jobs or their so-called professional jobs. But why are they here though? If they're not here to grow from a positive point of view, why are they here? You know, and it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And that's why I don't take none of these people serious either. I don't take none of these people serious. None of them. Because anybody who plays in the gutter 24/7, you can't take serious. You can't. You will think that everybody will grow up and learn something different in life. You would think people would want to grow. Just self-growth. That's it. But at the same time, we sit back and we blame everybody else for our downfall. See, that's the part where I have really come about on. At one point in time, when people used to say Black people love to play victim, I was disgusted when the people said that. But the more I grew and the more I learned and opened my mind, I realized that is true. That is so true. We love the victim role. Everybody is doing something to us except us. And that's crazy. That is crazy. Right, Doug. That's what I'm saying. Anybody who have certain skill sets are not going to waste time on this BS. And that's why when these people say they are, you know, when they say they're professionals, when they say they're nurses and lawyers, and some of them say, I think, have I seen a person say they was a doctor? I think I've seen a person say it was a doctor. I don't take these people serious. I don't. Well, super. Jesse Lee Peterson is a joke. ABL is a grifter, and those individuals are just grifters, man. They grifters, and they all in it for the money. They don't really care about the black community. They care about their pocketbooks, and that's what they get. And that's why people like that. That's why people like that they sit around and they disparage the black community because they're making money. They're making thousands and thousands of dollars off these videos to do what they do. They don't really believe in none of that nonsense, but they do it for the money. They do it for the money. You know, and those are the people that you have to watch out for. There was only one person I seen who changed their whole platform because they got tired of the nonsense, and that's the amazing Lucas. I think it's Lucas, right? Amazing Lucas. He used to be a big Trump supporter. He used to be one of those grifters out there, you know, telling the white people that black people was so bad and they need to do this and do that. But he changed his ways. He changed his entire platform. Now, when you watch his videos, he's actually bashing those same people that he used to be in line with. But I got a lot of respect for him because he did that. He stopped grifting and started being real to himself. See, ABL is not real to himself. Jesse Lee Peterson is not real to himself. How can you take Jesse Lee Peterson serious when he said racism don't exist? He said racism had never existed in this country. How can you take that man serious? You can't take someone like that serious. Yeah, super. And he's more credible now. He's much more credible because he's being real. He's just not bashing the black community on every video now. He's being real. Doug. We're going to disagree on that, Doug. Hey, Doug, I got a question for you, though, Doug. I got a question for you. When you said Tariq helps, give me an example of that. Give me one example, because we're going to disagree on this, but give me one example. He get people out of jail? Okay. All right. That's one thing. What's up, Kanyan? So what? Let me say this. This is what I mean about. And I salute him if he's doing that. I salute him. If he's doing that, I salute him. But what I'm saying is when I'm talking about doing something, for the community. I'm talking about doing something significant for the community. I'm talking about as in being out there on the front line, trying to change policies, trying to change basically policies, trying to help with bigger issues. Like I said, I salute him. If he's out there trying to get brothers out of jail, try to bond them out of jail, I salute him. But how about, is he out there fighting for the brothers who need to be pardoned, who need to be, who need to have their criminal, who need to have their criminal records expunged? Is he out there doing that? I'm talking about bigger things. Getting people out of jail, going their bond, that's something small and minute. But I salute him on that, though. I give him credit for that. When I talk about Tariq, I think about Tariq telling black people not to vote, which ain't doing black people any good. Because basically, you're telling black people not to vote, and it's like, that's being counterproductive. That's not helping black people. And that's something that we need to understand. We have bigger issues that these so-called leaders, black leaders, should be helping with. And they're not. Well, that's the whole thing about it, Super. I believe in talking real. To me, see, when you're dealing with people like myself who are broke, who's not looking for money, you get a more honest conversation. But when you got people who are out there looking for money and they want people to give and donate, they give you this false conversation. Anytime I hear Tariq or Umar or any of those guys talk, only thing I see is bullshit. That's all I see. That's all I see is white. I see bullshit. And I'm going to tell the truth. And that's not helping us. That's not helping us at all. I don't see these guys marching in the street. Talking about actually marching in the street for real causes. Well, Doug, this is my thing. See, we need to stop thinking about only black issues. Because when you say black issues, that means that you don't worry about healthcare. That means that you don't worry about Social Security. That means you don't worry about jobs. That means you don't worry about certain things that affect the entire country. See, those are the things we need to think about. Healthcare is one of the most important things to black people because we suffer a lot from the lack of health care. So when you got a Democrat telling you that we're going to help you with health care, that's a black issue. That's something we need. When we have a politician talking about Social Security, defending Social Security, that's a black issue because that's something we need. Matter of fact, let me give you a prime example. When we talk about the Supreme Court and how, because Donald Trump came to power, he put in 3 conservative justices that overturned a lot of things that affected black people. See, that's why you vote. It's not just about reparations. It's deeper than reparations. There is many things out there going on in this country that affect black people other than reparations. And that's something we have to understand. Reparations is only one piece of the puzzle. So when you're telling black people not to vote because of reparations, you're telling black people not to vote for someone who cares about your health care, someone who cares about your Social Security, someone who cares about the Supreme Court, someone who cares about criminal justice. you're telling people not to vote for those things also. The anti-hate, I'm glad you brought that up, Doug. The anti-hate bill. Now, let me say this right here. 2009, they passed an anti-hate bill for black people and for gay people. Because there was two names on that bill. James Byrd and I forget the gay guy name, and his name was on that bill. Anti-hate. Why do you need to keep pushing anti-hate bills if you're not enforcing the ones that's already on the books? See, that's the problem. See, instead of trying to get these new bills passed, we need to make them enforce the ones that's already on the book already. The James Byrd bill is on the books. But see, Doug, the thing about it is they don't tell you that. You know why they don't tell you that? Because they want to keep you outraged with this racial crap to keep you blind. Black people already got a hate bill on the books already. They just need to enforce it. It's there. Not only that, the George Floyd bill. You know why that bill is not passing? Because there are not enough Democrats in the Senate. And there are not enough Democrats in the House. That's why that bill is not passing. It's not because Joe Biden is not pushing that bill. They don't have enough Democrats to push it. But when you tell people not to vote, that's what's going to happen. See, this is what I'm saying. We need to dive deep into these subjects. You're telling people not to vote, but at the same time, you're hurting your own cause. Do you realize, what is his name? He just lost his primary. Damn, I forgot his name. Damn, what is his name? Jamal Bowman. He just lost his seat in New York, out of New York. He just lost his seat. He was pushing for reparations. People didn't turn out to vote for him. You see what I'm saying? If you want something, you have to vote. You can't tell people don't vote. That's not the way the system works. See, all of these issues that black people have, a lot of Republicans are not going to vote for that. They're not going to vote for reparations. They're not going to vote for the George Floyd crime bill. But black people want to stay home. You get what you deserve. You get a Senate that's 50-50, basically. Nothing going to pass in the Senate if it's 50-50. You get a House that's controlled by Republicans. George Floyd bill would never hit the floor as long as Republicans are controlling that floor. But we tell people not to vote. Don't vote, don't vote, don't vote. We want reparations. If we can't get reparations, we're not going to vote. Well, you'll never get reparations then. As long as you allow Republicans control the House and the Senate is 50-50, you'll never get reparations. But we don't want to look at reality. All right, let me, Doug, you got a lot of great questions today. And so let me tell you about that. Let's talk about black jobs. And I'm pretty sure you have seen on social media for the last week or so where they've been talking about black jobs, right? What is a black job? You know, you got all these memes popping up. Someone, what is a black job? What is a black job? So what jobs are Mexicans taking? What's up, Griff? Good to see you here. What jobs are Hispanics taking from black people? I'll wait. Yeah, Latinos are the biggest minority voting bloc now. And that's another reason why black people should vote more, because now you got Latinos who's voting more than blacks. But what black jobs are Hispanics taking? It's jobs blacks don't want. Thank you, Doug. So when people are preaching about Mexicans coming in and hurting blacks with jobs, it's crazy. It's lunacy. It just doesn't make sense. You know, because black people are not finna get out in the farm and pick tomatoes, apples, watermelons. Black people ain't finna do that. I don't think they're taking landscape jobs. I think what they're doing, honestly, landscape and construction jobs, they're not taking those jobs. And I'm gonna be real, Doug. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be absolutely real with you. If a black man want a construction job, he can get a construction job. If a black man want a landscaping job, he can get a landscaping job. But see, the problem is we don't want those jobs. We don't want those jobs. We really don't. I guarantee you, someone who's being real and sincere, they'll tell you if they want a job, a construction job, they can get one. No, 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 no. They don't want this welfare. You know what? This is the thing, Super. It's not about welfare. It's not about being lazy. It's about wanting more. Now, one thing I can say, black people are trying to get into more professional jobs. You know, they don't want this. They, like, for instance, farming jobs. You really gonna see black people on farming jobs. Not because they can't do it. They don't want it because they want better. That's what it's all about. Yeah, right. Because those are entry level positions. Those are easy positions to get into. When you talk about landscaping, people don't want to work outside. So who's going to take those jobs? It's like farming jobs. Who's going to take those jobs? Construction jobs. If you don't want to work outside, who's going to take those jobs? Immigrants, because they're not used to making that kind of money. So they're going to take those jobs. See, y'all have to understand something. Immigrants are coming from countries where they're not making nothing. They're making pennies. All right, I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about when it comes to income, when it comes to foreigners. Now, y'all know that I have a Filipino channel in which I do content over there. Do y'all understand that a top paying job, professional job, I'm not talking about a doctor or a lawyer, I'm talking about like just say a police officer in the Philippines. They're making like 25,000 pesos a month, which is like $500 a month to do their job. So when these people come here and they making more money here than they could do it in their own country, they're gonna take any job. Because basically any job is gonna pay them much more than what they was making at home. So when you talk about these foreigners coming in and they taking housekeeping jobs, they're taking construction jobs, they're taking landscaping jobs, they're taking farming jobs because they're making more money here than they did in their own country. So yes, they're gonna take those jobs. We don't want those jobs because we know those jobs don't pay enough for us to survive off of as Americans. And that's what's going on in this country today. That's why you see more Hispanics and more foreigners taking these level entry position jobs. So you can't blame them for taking these jobs. That's not a problem. They're doing what they're supposed to do, make a living for themselves and their family. So I don't fault them. I don't think they're taking black jobs. They're trying to survive. Well, that's another thing too, Doug. When you talk about these companies who are paying these people, y'all got to understand these same people, these same people who are railing against illegal immigrants are the same people who are paying them these low wages, who are giving them these jobs with no benefits. These are the same people. Y'all remember back when Donald Trump first got elected, and the farmers in Alabama and the farmers, I mean, it was Alabama. I know Alabama for a fact. The farmers in Alabama were so upset because they had no one to pick their crops. Now, those are the same people who voted for Donald Trump. The exact same people who voted for Donald Trump. But they turn around and start complaining because they ain't had no help. Because the majority of their help was illegal immigrants. You see how that works? See, they vote against their own interests. They voted to get Donald Trump in, even when Donald Trump was spewing all this nonsense about illegal immigrants and they had to go and he was going to get rid of all of them and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And they went and voted for Donald Trump. And then what happened? They lost their workers. Same thing with Ron DeSantis in Florida. He passed this law, all this tough immigration law in Florida. But he forgot about one thing. Those were the people who do the work in Florida. Now they don't have no workers. They're struggling with the workers now. So y'all got to understand, these people are setting y'all up for failure. They want y'all to talk about illegal immigrants, but at the same time, these corporations are the ones that are hiring these illegal immigrants. The same people who are voting for Donald Trump are hiring these illegal immigrants. Matter of fact, Donald Trump had hired some before he became president, and that was a known fact. See, these people are double talking. They get y'all all riled up, get y'all all upset about illegal immigrants when all along they are hiring these people. Isn't that crazy? Doug, you know what? Every minority group in this country works together except for us. Except for us. They all pool their money together and they build. They build. When you go into an Indian owned place of business, what do you see working there? You rarely ever see an American citizen working in those stores. You rarely see that. Because they all work together. We can't do that. We can't. We cannot do that. We are so divided to the point where it's very hard for us to even come together on one issue. We're so divided. Just look at social media. Look at social media. We're all over the place. All over the place. You got people, you got Stephen A right here. You got Shannon Sharp over there. You got Willie D over here. You got this person. You got LeBron. You got everybody doing their own thing. No one is trying to come together. No one is trying to build together. Citizenship has nothing to do with race. What do you mean, Super? What do you mean by that? When you said citizenship has nothing to do with race, I'm a little confused on that. But I'm gonna say this right here. It's not about citizenship. It's about hypocrisy. It's about these companies who's said one thing in the public, but in private, they're doing the opposite. That's what it's about. You're right, Doug. We have to have more money. We have to have more money. You know, we can't afford to let one man, we can't let afford one man outdo us. We have to have more money than the next man. Kanyon, I'm gonna say this right here. Joe Biden, matter of fact, I put a poll up. No, I left a comment somewhere and I put a poll up too. But Joe Biden can be on his deathbed and I'm gonna vote for him. Because I'm not voting for Joe Biden per se. I'm voting for the Democrat policies. That's what I'm voting for. And I will tell anybody who have an issue with Joe Biden being too old, all right, he's too old. But vote for the policies. Vote for the policies. That's what you need to vote for. And that's real. There's a couple things that's very important in this upcoming election that you're voting for. The Supreme Court, for one thing. The Supreme Court, for one thing. Because two of them are going to retire within the next 4 years. Clarence Thomas and Alito are going to retire within the next 4 years. So that's one thing. Number two, at Project 2025, there's another reason why. No matter how you feel about Joe Biden, you vote for the policies. And you vote against the Republican policies. That's all I got to say. Well, Doug, you know what? Local elections are very important, but with the Supreme Court, they have shown you that the federal elections does matter, are very important also. You know what? Honestly, Super, with the Kamala Harris thing, it doesn't make a difference to me. You know, like I said, if Joe Biden was to win their election in November and decided that he wanted to step down after a few months of being reelected, I'm good with it. I'm good with it because it's the policies that I like. It's not the person, it's the policies. And that's what a lot of people need to understand. It's the policies. No matter who it is, it's the policies. Yeah, local elections are very important also. They are very important. I just feel also the Supreme Court has shown that federal elections are very important as well. Honestly, Doug, I really do. I think he's going to win. And I'm going to tell y'all the reason why. A lot of black people are concentrated on black people voting. But if you really pay attention to what's going on around you, you'll see that there's a lot of independents. There's a lot of white Republicans in the suburbs who are not going to show up for Donald Trump. They're not going to do it. They're not going to show up for Donald Trump. So by me looking at that from that point of view, I see Joe Biden winning. Joe Biden might be old and feeble, but Trump is dangerous. He's dangerous. And that's what a lot of people sees. I see a lot of videos of a lot of white people in the suburbs saying they're not going to vote for Donald Trump this time. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And that's the reason why I say Donald Trump is not going to win in November. He will never, ever see the inside of the White House again. Well, Doug, Cornel West, that was some people you can't take serious. I like Cornel, but that wasn't a serious campaign. It wasn't serious at all. Well, that's the whole thing about it, y'all. Y'all have to understand this election is going to tell a lot. And I know a lot of people think Trump going to get back in office, but Trump is not getting back in office. Trump will not win in November. The people who carried him to the White House in November in 2016 are not going to carry him to the White House in 2024. It's not going to happen. It's not. And as for JFK, that's another joke of a campaign. There's no way he can win. Matter of fact, he's not even on all the ballots in all the states. No, that's a joke of a campaign. I like Bernie. Bernie is good. I like Bernie. I like some of his ideals. But Bernie just don't have the appeal enough to get him over the threshold. He don't have that. And I don't think Bernie want to run again anyway, because Bernie is in his 80s. He's not trying to run for office anymore, president anymore. I don't think he won't any part of that. And like I said, he in his 80s also. What's up, Stacy? But Bernie would be a good candidate, though. He really would. I wouldn't mind seeing Bernie up there. I don't think Bernie was bought and sold by the Clintons. Nah. Well, people from Vermont, they are a little different than everybody else in the country. Vermont, New Hampshire, what was another? Maine. Those three states have a little twist to them. Those people are a little. But Griff, people keep saying socialism. But Griff, what is socialism? What is your definition of socialism, Griff? I'm just curious. Because Bernie, he's for universal health care, which is pretty much similar to what they have in Canada and England. Might be a little different twist to it. But when people say he's too much of a socialism, give an example of his socialism stance. Only thing Bernie he want the government to be there for the people. He believes that everybody is entitled to good health care. I don't see anything wrong with that. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with everybody being entitled to good health care? What's wrong with the government making sure that people who living in the streets have housing? What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. I don't see certain things that people blame Bernie for. I don't see anything wrong with it. Because I think that's the reason why we have so many people living on the streets today, because we don't have people like Bernie Sanders in government. People we have in government don't care about people living on the streets. Everywhere in this country now, there is abundantly homeless people. No matter where you go, because affordable housing is not affordable housing anymore. It's not. And it's crazy that people cannot afford to live. That's crazy. And I think the government should play a role in making sure people can afford to live. When it comes to housing, healthcare, when it comes to food costs, all that right there, the government should help you. I really believe that. I really do. And I think the reason why we don't have those things in place, because we got too many greedy Americans. They take, and they don't like giving back. You know, you got these billionaires. You know, this country got so many billionaires now. Just understand, as the population of billionaires grow, the homeless population grows. Y'all don't see a correlation to that? I see a correlation to that. I really do see a correlation to, as people get richer, as the rich get richer, the poor is getting poorer. So why can't someone like Bernie Sanders come in and start taxing the hell out of those billionaires to bring more money into the coffins to help the ones who are actually helping those billionaires make their money? Because that's the problem. These billionaires are not giving that money back to the people who helping them make that money. The cost of rent around me is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's insane. It is really, really insane. When the people who actually live inside of Boston itself, you're going to pay. Matter of fact, I ain't got to go into Boston. I can go right up the street. I can go right up the street, less than a mile from my house, where they got a 1-bedroom apartment going for $2,500. $2,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Fantastic. I must agree with that. I cannot deny that. I cannot deny that. You are absolutely right. The VA is a mess. I just did 2 videos on the VA. So trust me. I feel you there. You're right. You're most definitely right. Most definitely right. Most definitely right. That is true. Super. All people should be responsible for themselves. I absolutely agree with that. But some things are out of your control. Some things are out of your control to the point where you do need a government assistance. Like, for instance, like I just pointed out, right up the street from me, they have apartments for $2,500. So you're telling me that it's okay to be outpriced to have a place to live? Because that's what's going on. Why do you think you have so many people? You have so many people out in California right now who are homeless or living in their cars because they can't afford to live in an apartment. The government should step in to help them. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's very expensive here. Yeah, and Doug, the thing about it is the South is getting more and more. The South used to be the cheapest place to live. Used to be the cheapest place to live. And now those prices are going up. Yeah, it's government assistance, but at the same time, you do need some kind of restriction on pricing of housing. Mass do have a program where, not really a program, they do have a law where a lot of these communities and a lot of these apartment complexes, especially, they have to have so many of these apartments available for affordable housing. A certain percentage of the community have to be for affordable housing. And that's a good thing the government is doing. Because like I said, if they didn't, it'll be out of control. It's kind of like New York. New York City got rent control, which is good. So it's not just about people needing help. It's about the government controlling these greedy people. I don't think, Griff, I don't think the government should control everything, but I do think the government should control some things. Like, for instance, prime example, what do y'all think about Joe Biden helping with the cost of insulin, bringing down the cost of insulin. Do y'all think that's a good thing? That's crazy, Doug. That's really crazy. And that's why you have so many homeless people now. A lot of people can't do that. They can't do it. But Griff, I want Griff to tell me, what do you think about Joe Biden and the insulin, bringing down the price of insulin? Because that's something good. That's something good. That's something that we need. We need to bring those pharmaceutical companies under control because there's no regulations when it comes to them. So what's wrong with the government stepping in and saying, no, look, we need to change this. We need to bring these prices down. This is very important to people's health. These people can't afford that. So there are some good things to the government controlling certain things. Healthcare is another thing. I think the government should control healthcare, even though fantastic, brought up a great idea about the VA, but still, I still believe that there should be some kind of control when it comes to healthcare to bring the prices down. Damn, I've been on an hour. I didn't realize I'd been up in that long. Oh my God. This turned out to be a pretty good live after all. When I first hit the live button, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But thanks to you guys, man, y'all kind of helped me out a little bit. So I appreciate that. I really do. Y'all do me another small favor. Can y'all please hit that thumbs up button for me also? I really appreciate that. What Griff at? Where you at, Griff? Well, Griff, I'm gonna catch you next time, Griff, because I gotta go do something anyway. So what I'm gonna do, I want to salute Griff, Doug, Super Toyota, Stacy. Who else came? Fantastic came through. Classic came through. Kanyon came through. Who else came through the house? I think that's it. I appreciate everybody who came through and helped me out with this live. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I guess I need to start doing more lives because when I do go live, no one shows up. So, but I appreciate everybody who came. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming and entertaining me, because y'all entertain me more than I entertain y'all. So I really appreciate it. And until next time, I salute you all. Y'all have a great day, the rest of y'all day.